You're back for another creepyPasta story, are we? Well, today you better be ready, because this might terrify you so much that you might even not survive the rest of the day. Let's begin our story. Then you can find out how scary it is. Welcome back to another creepyPasta spooky story. This story is called The Haunting Melody. Deep within dark, forbidden woods, nestled among the gnarly trees and overgrown shrubs, stood an abandoned cabin, shrouded in mystery. Its cracked walls and broken windows bore witness to the passage of time, and its wooden doors creaked as if warning intruders to turn back. Rumors of a cursed melody, whispered by the locals in hushed tones, swirled around the cabin like an eternal mist. Tales of a long-lost magician who was once resided within the walls and composed a hauntingly beautiful melody that had unleashed an unworldly presence, were passed down from generation to generation, adding to the cabin's eerie reputation. Sarah, a young pianist with a hunger for the unknown, had heard the stories and felt drawn to the cabin. Fingers itched with curiosity, yearning to play the melody on her beloved grand piano. Ignoring the cautionary tales, she embarked on a daring quest to find the cabin, driven by a relentless desire to unravel its mysteries. Sarah ventured deeper into the dense forest. Her senses were highlighted. Her heart pounded. The twisted branches seemed to reach out to her like skeleton fingers. And rustling leaves whispered eerie harmony, as if beckoning her to the cabin's location. At last, she stumbled upon the cabin, a structure that loomed before her like a ghost from the past. The air was thick, and bodily energy that ran down Sarah's spine. She pushed open the creaking door. The musty scent of decay greeted her senses. The cobwebs on the walls, like ghostly tapestries, swayed gently in the breeze. The moonlight filtered through the cracks of the roof, casting eerie shadows across the room. With trembling fingers, Sarah approached the grand piano that stood in the center of the room. Its once polished surface now covered in dust, she ran her fingers lovingly over the keys, feeling a surge of excitement coursing through her veins. This was it, the moment she had been waiting for. Without hesitation, Sarah positioned herself in front of the piano and began to play. The melody flowed from her fingertips. The notes danced in the air, creating a haunting sympathy that seemed to echo through the walls of the cabin and beyond. She felt a strange sensation, as if the melody was taking on a life of its own, lost in the enchantment of the melody. But then the atmosphere in the cabin shifted. The air grew colder and the shadows danced along the walls. Sarah's heart skipped a beat as she realized she was not alone. She turned around, but no one was there. Only an empty cabin with its peeling walls and broken windows. The once beautiful music now sounded twisted, as if mocking her. But Sarah was unable to stop. She was entranced and trapped in a musical spell that seemed to tighten its grip with every passing moment. With a sudden jolt, the piano keys beneath Sarah's fingers seemed to come alive, pressing down on their own. Sarah's eyes widened in horror as she realized she had lost control. The cursed melody had taken over, and she was merely an instrument in its dark symphony. The shadows in the cabin seemed to come alive, swirling and shifting, as if guided by an invisible force. Sarah's once joyful expression turned in one of sheer terror as she realized she had awoken something within the cabin. Her fingers trembled on the keys, but the melody continued to play louder, as if urging her to play faster and harder and louder. As Sarah tried to resist, the cabin seemed to close on her. The walls seemingly closed in, trapping her in its suffocating embrace. The air grew colder. The atmosphere grew increasingly, making it hard for Sarah to breathe. Her fingers became numb. But the curse of the melody continued to pour forth from the piano. Desperate to break free from the grip of the cursed melody, Sarah slammed her hands down on the keys, trying to force the music to stop. But the piano seemed to resist, the keys refusing to release, trapping her hands in an icy embrace. The melody, now a twisted gnomic that echoed through the cabin and Sarah's very soul. Sarah's mind was whirling of fear and confusion. She tried to scream, but no sound escaped her lips. Tears streamed down her face as she realized she had fallen into a trap of the cabin, just like the musician who had vanished all those years ago. She was now doomed to be the part of this dark legacy, forever trapped in its clutches. As the cursed melody reached, she slumped against the piano, her body limp, her spirit broken. The melody slowly faded into silence, leaving only the oppressive silence of the cabin. The next morning, the locals found Sarah's lifeless body sitting at the piano, her hands still clasped to the keys. Her eyes were wide open, and a look of eternal terror frozen on her face. The cabin stood silent once again, its cursed melody waiting for the next unwitting soul to fall under its spell. From that day on, the legend of the haunted cabin grew, with tales of cursed melody and the tragic fate of Sarah, the pianist. Locals warned travelers to stay away from the cabin, for they could still hear faint echoes of the melody on the moonlit nights, a chilling reminder of the cabin's power. And so the cabin remains abandoned, its walls whispered by the haunted melodies to anyone who dared venture too close, a reminder that some mysteries are better left unsolved, and some melodies are best left unplayed. I hope you enjoyed today's scary story. If you did enjoy the spooky story today, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more. And maybe I'll see you in the next video. Or maybe I've just scared you to death. Goodbye. Till next time.